Hey there boys and girls, Skillflake here and welcome to the aggressive Recon tutorial. So I have a little overview for you guys. So first up we're going to check out what is aggressive Recon. I give you a short little explanation of what it actually is, because some people might have like weird views of it. Next up we have the class setup. I'm just going to tell you what I would recommend you, so my recommendations for the playstyle. And that's the next point, the playstyle and how to play it. And at last we have then the gadgets, so how you can use those effectively. And point 3 and 4 are a little bit together, so because there's team play and tactics involved and they flow just in together, and yeah. So let's get started with point 1. What is aggressive recon? So many people think that aggressive recon is actually running around with a low power scope and a bolt action sniper rifle and just trying to kill people and yeah, get crazy streaks, but that's wrong. Aggressive recon actually means playing the objective, and the aggressive is just there because the playstyle you have to play in order to be good with a sniper rifle close up is really aggressive. And yeah, so it's mainly about team play and playing the objective and not about getting kills, but this of course helps you quite a lot. And that's actually what aggressive recon really is. So you can also play aggressive recon with a high power scope instead of a low power scope, which you can see me using right now. So this is a perfect example. I just armed the objective, I protected it and so on, defended it, and yeah, that's aggressive recon. Oh, and by the way, this tutorial is for bolt action rifles only, so I know you can play the aggressive recon role with the PDWs and the semi-autos, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a bolt action rifle. So let's hop on to our next point, which would be the class setup. So right here you can see my first setup, which would be the M40. It's pretty good because it has the highest rate of fire of all the bolt actions, 1.1 seconds to reach under the bolt. And yeah, you can see my secondary is the GA-18 suppressed. I have the MAV and the radio beacon. So right here you see I'm using the 8x zoom scope, and that's my personal preference. I would actually recommend you a low power scope because it's a little bit easier and you can just also move a little bit closer in, I guess. I would recommend the PKA because it blocks like almost nothing of your view, and it's just really good. The zoom is a good medium thingy. So the next thing would be the straight pull bolt. You won't be able to fire at all times, and the laser sight for increased hip accuracy. My other setup is the same with the SV98, so it's also pretty fast, 1.25 seconds to reach under the bolt, but it has a increased range on the upper chest hitbox, so you will get a one-shot hit kill to the chest within 20 meters instead of 15. So that's the reason why I recommend it. Again, same for the scopes and all the other attachments. For your secondary in general, I would recommend the G18, the Rex, or the .44 Magnum. So the .44 is the strongest, the Rex almost the same but a lot faster, and I think you all know the G18. It's just a really good option to finish the enemies off. You could also use the 93 Replica, so it depends just a lot on how you can handle your gun, but I would recommend either a high rate of fire or a really strong gun, so that you can kill your enemies fast. You could also use the normal pistols, they're a little bit harder, and I would recommend one of the stronger ones. Oh, and by the way, the SV98 has the smallest hip spread of all the bolt action rifles, so it's really good for hip firing. So next up we have the playstyle, our how-to and the tips. So as you can see me, I'm playing Rush on the peak, and I'm pushing near the objective. I'm basically guarding it and defending it. I've also put down my spawn beacon in the building right on the left side, so my squad mates can spawn there. And you can see I'm hip firing quite a lot. So right here you have this little man, and you can see we have a 2.0 multiplier to the head and 1.25 to the chest. This means we have a one-shot hit kill to the chest within 20 meters with the SV98 and within 15 meters with the M40. You can see hip firing is very useful, and you should do it as an aggressive recon. If you miss, you should switch to a sidearm immediately and finish him off, or just kill him with a sidearm if he hasn't received any damage yet. So right here you can see me using the sidearm a little bit more. And the point of showing you this right here is that you will use 50-50, so your sidearm 50% of the time and your main rifle, your bolt action, 50% of the time. The reason for this is because in really close range like here, it's just easier to have, for example, the G18 and go a little bit for spray and pray, or just like right here to finish them off. And that's really the key. I can say your KAD will go down quite a lot, but your score per minute will go up. So I think that's good. See another no scope right here. So hip firing is really key, and you should like to learn by heart that as soon as you hip fire that you switch to sidearm. I don't say it's necessary, but it will help you quite a lot. So right here you can see me. I'm really close, and I switched to my G18 because this is just a better option. So you will notice you will use your sidearm quite a lot more. Those two guys, by the way, are total derps, and they're just support spray and brace, and I think that's the reason why they can't hit me. So main keys are really like you have to rely a lot more on tactics, so that you flank your enemies. You will see yourself doing probably a lot more bunny hops, but that's pretty normal, and you just have to do everything to make yourself a worse target, so your enemies will have a hard time to hit you. Another key thing on the front lines is to stay with your squad, so you'll be a lot stronger when performing everything within a squad, so that's also a key. So team play together with the tactics, and you should also make sure that you get used to using your sidearm more often, and also to hip firing with a bolt action rifle. Okay, for point 40 gadgets, I want to say the most important gadget will be the radio or / spawning beacon, because you want to be close to the objective. You want your squad mates to push together with you, so you always have to push up and get closer to the objective to get your teammates there and your squad mates as well, of course. And that's the most important thing you can have. So just as always, you're still a recon player, so spotting is key. So you should always and ever spot at all times, so you and also your squad and teammates can see the enemies a lot easier and better, and so that they are also marked on the minimap. For that you can also use the help of the TX, so the normal motion sensor, or also the MAV, so the flying motion sensor, so to speak. You just have to make sure you can put them in a location where there's a lot of heavy traffic, so that they will actually spawn something. So they both have positive and negative sides. So the TAX, the motion sensor, has a smaller spot radius, but it's easier to hide since it's so small, and it's also easier to deploy because the MAV is quite big. The MAV on the other side has a wider radius of the spotting area, and you can also set it up on top of a building so nobody can destroy it, which is pretty good. I would say you should stay away from the soft lamp, even though it's heavily underused and it's an extremely powerful tool. I know it can be good to have it just with you, and if there's a tank, to just put it right in front of you and get it marked, get the thing marked for teammates or squad mates easier. This is a little bit more advanced, and well, if you're in a squad, you might want to do that, but for the first beginner games, you want to just use the TAX or the MAV in order to spot more enemies. Okay, that was my aggressive recon tutorial for Battlefield 3. If you have any more questions, just leave them down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer all of them. You will see here also the links to my other recon tutorials, so the basic recon guide and also the long range sniping. This is actually the third part, and the next part will be the recon silent assassin, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and like skill figure out.